Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, based on where in the world you're joining us. My name is Shahab Anari, and I'll be your host today. Welcome to another webinar or online session of the series I've been holding since the onset of the crazy COVID-19. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here. This is going to be an awesome session about how to stay physically fit and mentally sane during these uncertain times. So before I go any further, I'd like to share with you some logistics. Make sure you're somewhere that you're connected to a good Wi-Fi. Also, if you can use your earphone or headphone to hear me better, that would be even better. You have the opportunity to chat with me, the other speakers, and the panelists, and the other attendees in general, using the chat box. So there's a chat box on the screen. You can put in your answers to our questions. You can put in your questions, your comments. In the chat box, you can engage in a conversation with us, with the other attendees. So make sure you use the chat box. The only thing is, make sure you address all your comments to panelists and attendees. Just try it right now. When you put in your comment in the chat box, don't send it just to me because you have the option there. Send it to all panelists and attendees so that everyone else can see it too. Just go in the chat box and try it for a second. Amazing to have everyone on the call. Fariba, Vince, Natasha, Nadia, Alka, Ahmad, and all the other wonderful people on the call. It's great to have you here. It's going to be an amazing, value-packed session, and we're going to talk about how to stay physically fit and mentally sane. Before we go any further, let me introduce myself very briefly. I'm Shahab Anari. I'm a personal branding expert, keynote speaker, and author. And in my company, we help subject matter experts get more clients, build their brand, and make more impact. We have a variety of solutions for that matter. And my website for your information is northstarsuccess.com. I'm going to type it in the chat box so that everybody can see. Okay, northstarsuccess.com, just check it out. But today, we're not going to be talking about personal branding or getting more clients or growing your business. We're going to be talking about how to stay physically fit and mentally sane. And that's why I've invited 4 of my good friends, 4 experts, to be on the call with us today. And without further ado, let me introduce the first speaker to you. Natasha, where are you? Just put your hand up, raise your hand so that I can find you. Just put your hand up. Natasha, okay, I found you. Natasha. Amazing, amazing. Natasha Halliday is our first speaker. Natasha, please unmute yourself and start your video. So Natasha is a mental health and resilience expert, 20 years of experience in the mental health field, a good friend and colleague from CAPS Toronto. Thanks for being on the call with us. So just as a prelude to Natasha's presentation today, I read an article yesterday about, and the title was this: COVID-19 can spark a mental health tsunami. And in the article, the author spoke about there's anxiety from job losses, financial instability, business closures, depression due to physical seclusion, and all the other mental health issues, isolation, panic, fear. People are seeing their retirement plans imploding, all sorts of mental health issues. And I would say most of us are somehow impacted by this COVID-19 mentally and emotionally. And that's why I invited Natasha to be on the call with us and share with us her expertise and insights. Natasha, welcome. Thanks for being with us today.
Good morning. Good morning, good afternoon. Like you said, it could be any time of day, depending on where people are joining us from. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of this. And it's so true. I work in mental health, and we've seen quite a spectrum of responses in terms of what's happening with the coronavirus. So our clients who are anxious and things like school or work are their stressors being removed from it, they're feeling better. But all those who are experiencing job loss or less hours or what have you, staying inside a lot, being more socially isolated, is definitely having a tremendous impact on people's mental health. So I know my colleagues and I have been looking at how to support our clients to keep themselves as mentally stable as possible, given what's going on. So today I wanted to talk about taking a resilient approach to the coronavirus, and in the face of crisis, how to bolster your resilience and have a resilient approach. And I don't know if anything in life more than coronavirus has tested my resilience and many others' resilience, because it is just something like I don't know how many of us have ever seen before in our lives. I think people have experienced maybe different things that are quite tremendous in its impact. I don't know if anybody has seen anything quite this worldwide spread, and it's really taking us out of our comfort zone to have an experience that we don't know what to do with. So I just wanted to start briefly by talking about what resilience is. Resilience is how we respond in the face of tragedy, how we respond in the face of trauma. It's the process by which we adapt well to negative and difficult and very trying situations. And like I said, this COVID-19 is definitely a true test of that. So we are really being asked to look at what our resolve is. And I think there's many areas that our resilience is being tested. It's being tested physically. There's people who are physically experiencing the illness. Emotionally, there's lots of anxiety and fear and other things going around. And for those who have unfortunately experienced the loss of a loved one or who has watched a loved one deal with this, there definitely is an emotional impact. There's a financial impact for those who are having their work hours affected, for entrepreneurs who are not necessarily working as much, for business owners who have their businesses shut down in the face of us being asked to reduce how much we're in close proximity to one another. So, and I think the last thing I want to address too is I think that there's a spiritual impact for anybody who has any kind of a spiritual practice. This can affect your spirituality, and so there's many levels in which this would affect us and our resilience. So I think just to start too, I want to say that we are all resilient. We all possess resilience. It waxes and wanes, and it presents highly in some areas and not as strong in other areas. And so this is one of the areas we have to see what is our ability to adapt well in this really challenging situation and something unprecedented. We don't have the answers yet. We don't know how long it's going to go for. And one of the things that pulls on us when we're struggling is not having that answer. We want to know, and nobody has those answers yet. So that makes it more challenging while dealing with this. So one of the things that I wanted to encourage people when we look at how are we adapting well, is that we have to look at being resilient both as an individual and as a community. And so individually being resilient is the steps that you take within your own life, within your own mindset to respond as well as possible. And I'm going to get more into that in a little bit. And from a community perspective, I think it's the ways that we don't just look at what we're dealing with, but that we consider others and that we look at supporting others. And I wanted to give an example of something that I saw just on Friday. I came home from work and I went for a walk, and it was just something so simple, but I thought it was really sweet. My neighbors had drawn with colored chalk on their driveway. Don't worry, be happy. And then they just had flourishes and flowers and different little things. And they were just trying to offer in their own little way something for people to have something to smile about, to be encouraged by. Um, because we are practicing the social distancing, we are not interacting with people the same way that we were. They were just trying to offer their little beacon of hope. And I thought, that's a fantastic thing. In Canada, there's, and I don't know what is happening in other parts of the world, um, but in Canada, there are stores that are opening certain hours solely for senior citizens to allow them to be able to go to the grocery store, go to the pharmacy, and not be around as many people because they are potentially more susceptible to this illness and could face more dire health consequences if they become ill with COVID-19. So I think that's another way that we are seeing community responses. I know other people have offered to get groceries for their older neighbors who don't even want to leave their house, or just to help them have an option so that if they can't do it. For those who may take the bus, I'm hearing stories of people doing things for people to help them avoid being on the bus or being on public transit. So there's many ways that we can rally as a community and think about what is the impact on someone else and how do we help others, including helping ourselves. And I think truthfully, when we are community minded and when we're helping others, that helps our own individual resilience because it has such a positive impact to be able to see on a more global scale and see beyond yourself and look at what you can do to support other people. So in terms of more individually, there's several areas that I wanted to address in terms of how um, to be resilient and to bolster your resilience. And I wanted people to consider several things. So looking at yourself on different levels, how can you be resilient body, mind, and soul in your body? And I'm sure the person who's going to address physical fitness will get into this in more detail, but are we moving? Especially for those who have been working from home more and don't have to walk around as much. Are we eating well? Are we making sure we get enough sleep? Are we staying hydrated? What are we doing to support our physical bodies? Are we taking lots of vitamin C? All kinds of things like that. Are we practicing the social distancing to make sure that we're not um, potentially getting the coronavirus? For our minds, checking in with yourself. How are you anxious? Are you feeling fear in the face of this thing that seems to be daily changing? Um, are you feeling, out of control because you don't know what's happening? Any of these things that could affect your mind um, can really, really take a toll on you. And so one of the things that I've been encouraging people to do is pay attention to what they're feeding. And so we know what we feed is what grows. And so if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling fearful, while it is important to watch footage online, to maybe watch something on TV to stay aware of what's current, if we spend way too much time doing it, that's more going to feed any anxiety, any fear that we're experiencing, and really put us in a position where we are losing sight potentially of other things. And as scary as this is, it's not the only thing to be considering in our lives. So we want to be able to um, take stock of where our minds are at and where there may be negative emotions flaring up. Pay attention to how we're feeding it, how we're contributing to it, maybe, and I'm not saying that from a place of blame, but how we're contributing to it because we might be watching a lot of footage and not realizing that that's actually having a detrimental impact. So I'll give myself as an example. Last weekend, I took a break. I didn't watch any of the news footage. I didn't watch anything on TV. I spent my entire weekend at home. And so I knew that anything that was going to affect how I interacted when I went outside into the world, because I'm in a position where I am still going into work some days a week. I got caught up Monday morning before I went into work. And so I knew that if there were new steps, new measures that had to be taken, I was aware of them. But it really actually helped me kind of refresh my mind and help me practice some other things like gratitude and other stuff that I'll get into in a little bit, because I wasn't just focusing and consuming all things coronavirus and COVID-19. So paying attention to where your mind is at, and it's um, just knowing that we have to take some steps to offset those anxious thoughts that we might be having. And they're so normal. I don't want to say that it's not a normal thing to feel fearful, to feel anxious, to feel maybe a little bit out of control in this thing that is just, like I said, it's unprecedented. I don't know anybody who can relate to having experienced anything quite this epic in their lifetime. So it's normal to feel those things. What's important is to pay attention to how we might be adding to it or how we might be feeding it, whether it's intentional or not. So that's something that I think is really important. And then from a soul perspective, um, staying connected to people. We are wired as human beings to be connected. And here is something that's forcing us to not be connected in the same way. So then we get the option to look at how creative can I be? And when we're resilient, we are adaptive, we are creative, we are flexible, we're collaborative. And this is one of the things that I'm seeing is how people are getting creative um, in this time and how to stay socially connected. And I would love for you to pop into the chat ways that you're finding to stay socially connected when you can't go to your friend's house, when you can't go to a restaurant necessarily. How are you staying connected to your friends and to your loved ones? Anybody that you're not living with that you don't now get to see, how are you keeping those connections? Again, I'll give you an example. I have some friends from high school, and so we used Zoom to to have a hangout on Friday evening. We all were in our respective homes, but we planned the time, we set the time, and we had a grand time just chatting and laughing. And it really was just as enriching as time in person as anything, because the ability to be able to see their faces, to hear their voices, and to have that dialogue was really just something that I know how much I appreciated. And there's many ways. So I'm seeing people are saying call them FaceTime. Yes, absolutely. Uh, Virtual coffee dates. I love that. So people are really using um, the technology, and I think that's one of the things that is a blessing. If in this moment is that we are experiencing this at a time where technology is giving us many options, and so it's gives us many things to choose from, that we have ways to connect. I know my parents are calling me more often because they just want to check in. And they don't do a lot of technology, but what's really interesting is my mom's like, okay, I need you to teach me how to do this text message thing and this video call thing. And because she hasn't had reason before to want to do it, but now that she can't see people and connect in the same way, she's curious about using other aspects of technology to stay connected to people. So this is one of the things that I think is really important, is to keep those connections. And I said earlier that one of the ways that our resilience is being tested is potentially spiritually. And I think that when we're addressing our soul, look at, for anybody who has spiritual practices, whatever your spirituality may be, tap into those practices. The things that people practice in their spirituality are often center us and ground us and bring us to a place of calm that sometimes nothing else can. So I would encourage people, whatever your spiritual beliefs and practices are, tap into them. Pray, meditate, read scriptures, do yoga, have time just of quietness, get into nature, whatever connects you to that place of your spirituality. Do that thing, because it has a tremendous impact to provide calm and just still and center somebody in the face of what's going on. So the other thing that I wanted to look at too is when we're trying to look at how to be resilient and how to maintain ourselves mentally, I think some people are experiencing some polar opposites. So people who work in healthcare, people who work in, I have a friend who works for housing, and she just said it's they're tremendously busy. So some people are working way more, whereas some people are either working from home, which is again different because they're working from home but having to homeschool their kids or what have you, and trying to balance all those things. Or there's some people who were working who aren't working. So we experience the extreme of working way more or working way less. And we have extremes of, I used to socialize a lot in person and now I have a lot less of that. And so I would encourage people to look at how they can seek some balance. And when I say balance, I'm not trying to say 50% of this, 50% of that. But if you're one of the people that the work that you do is actually demanding more of you in the face of this pandemic, then what do you do to offset all the stuff that comes, all the stress that might build from all those extra work hours? Is it just finding ways to have some relaxation because you've been working so much? If you're not working a lot, I've heard people making jokes about how much time they're spending on Netflix, but what else can you do so that you are having some balance so that you don't do 80, 90% of one thing and so little of other things. So just looking at how do we have some balance in in the face of the coronavirus. And this is where I think people are, it's impacting people's mental health. I know that I have clients who are, I'm working with them. So I'm doing a lot of video counseling right now in order to stay connected to my clients. And again, so grateful for the technology to allow me to do that. And so I'm working with them on how do you keep yourself activated, because it's easy to stay in bed longer. It's easy to stay really inactive during this time if people are spending a lot of time at home. But that can definitely have an impact on one's mental health. For somebody who may be experiencing depression, they may find that they're feeling much more depressed, being isolated, being sedentary. And so what steps can you take to balance that out? Another thing is looking to the future. So here is something that is so big. It's easy to pay attention only to the coronavirus, but it will not last forever. And so one of the things I've been doing in my own life is looking at, what do I want my life to look like when all of this is said and done? What are my goals? What are the things that I want to accomplish? What do I want to be able to say about what I'm doing in my life? And how can I use the shift in time to actually move towards that? So I am, like I said, I'm a very social person. I love to get out, go out with my friends, go out, spend time with family. And I don't get to do that right now. I am connecting online. I am making more phone calls, sending more text messages, but I also have my COVID task list that I've set that I'm looking at. Okay, so as a speaker, what are the things that I need to do to continue building my speaker business? As a therapist, what are the things that I can do to build my practice and things like that? So I'm really trying to take steps to be aware of what life can look like after that. For the people who are finding they're really enjoying more time with family, how do you make sure that continues, that you don't fall back into the same routine of work, or whatever else it may be when this is all said and done? So looking towards the next steps. So one other thing that I wanted to address, so at the beginning of the year, instead of setting a resolution, I set what I called a resilience pact. And so for each letter of pact, I looked at things. And so for the P, it's what's my perspective? A is acceptance. Can I accept what's going on? C is calm. Can you be calm when disruptive things are going on? And T is being tenacious. And so I would invite anybody to take that pact with me, because I think this is a great time to reset this pact and look at what's my perspective during this crisis. Can I accept that life is drastically different? How can I stay calm despite all this footage on TV that can be quite scary? And how do I stay tenacious? How do I keep going and doing the things that I need to do? So, oh, thank you. Somebody says they love the pact. I do have a PDF that I can forward to Shahab to have people take a look at it later if you'd like. So I can forward that to you.
Yes, please do.
Okay, great. I have made sure that I had that available. And so the pact is something that I think is something that keeps helping me center and reset. So the very last thing that I want to say is practice gratitude. Despite all that's going on, look at what you have to be grateful for, because we always have something in life to be grateful for. And when we're focused and intentional about what we can be grateful for, it takes our focus for a minute or for 10 minutes or whatever off of all the chaos that's going on in the world. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys about taking a resilient approach in the face of crisis.
This has been amazing. Lots of great stuff. I love the acronym PACT. So I'm making my pact with you. So I love that.
Awesome.
Thanks for that. And also lots of great stuff and solutions to take care of your mind, your body and soul, and to be resilient in your mind, body, and soul. Amazing stuff. So folks, you can put in your questions. We have a couple of more minutes with Natasha. Put in your questions, comments, anything you learned that was of value to you, any questions you might have. And in the meantime, folks, put it in the comments. In the meantime, Natasha, how can our folks reach you? Are you offering any free stuff, maybe free session, free guides, free PDF to our audience here?
So I can put my email in. I'm happy to have people email me. I'm very happy to do, brief free interactions with people online. We can do it by video, just to help people develop some, again, to look at ideas of how to manage this. If people are finding they're quite anxious, if they're finding they're quite fearful. The beautiful thing is, I think the more we acknowledge it, and know that we're not on our own in that. And then we look at what other things there are to pay attention to, the better we do. Because the expression, we can't see the forest for the trees. So when we're solely focused on one thing, it becomes our everything. And we don't want coronavirus to become our everything. We want to be able to see that we still have lives. And like I said, I have not lost anybody in this. There are people facing really challenging, painful things in the face of this pandemic. So I'm not saying that's not real, but I think there's still a lot going on in life, a lot to be grateful for, and a lot of other things we can set our focus on.
Totally agree with that. So one last time, please repeat those letters. What does PACT stand for?
So PACT is looking at, for the P, it's your perspective. How do you see something? A is about acceptance. Can you accept what's going on, especially when you can't change it? C, can you be calm in the face of chaos and crisis? And T is about being tenacious. So that ability to keep going on, no matter, the negative thoughts that might come up, the fear that comes up, or the things that feel like barriers to what you need to do. Can you keep going on despite that?
Amazing stuff. Thanks, Natasha. Lots of golden wisdom in that. So please put your email address in the chat box. So folks, jump at this opportunity. Don't inundate Natasha because she's a busy person, but she's graciously offering some free help to you guys. 20 years of experience in mental health. Let's everyone make sure we respect her time, but at the same time, she's offering this free advice to all of you guys online. Okay, amazing. info@natashaholiday.com. Thank you so much, Natasha, for being on the call with us.
Take care. I will email you the PDF so you can share it with the attendees.
Can you do that today?
I can do that absolutely today.
Right. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So again, I'm going to put you back in the viewer mode if you don't mind. Take care. And thank you so much once again. Okay. Amazing. Awesome stuff. So how has it been so far? Show me some energy. Show me some response in the chat box. Did you like what Natasha shared with us? What was the most valuable thing you learned? Just put it in the chat box. This is a two-way street. Let's make it a two-way street, two-way communication. Awesome. Lots of great feedback in the comments. Nadia, Saeed, Vince, Alka, Catherine, Rana, they're all Fariba. Everyone is thanking Natasha. And Mona Walrand is saying we can also dance at home to remain fit. Absolutely true. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Before we go any further, and before I introduce to you our next speaker, I just want to ask, is Wendy on the call? Is Wendy on the call with us? If Wendy is on the call with us, Wendy from TELUS, please put your hand up. If Wendy from TELUS is on the call. Okay, if you're on the call, please send me a private message or put your hand up. Anyway, okay, before I introduce the second speaker, Alka, I'd like to share a link with you. So if you're in Toronto, I know that some of you might be in Toronto. If you live or work in Toronto, check out this link that I put in the chat box. This is a survey from Mayor Tory from the city of Toronto asking business owners how COVID-19 has impacted their business financially. So I encourage all of you, if you're business owners in Toronto, to check that link and answer that survey, and let's give some feedback to Mayor Tory and the City of Toronto. Know that they're seeking our input, and let them know how we've been financially impacted. So I read in an article a few days ago that 90% of businesses have been impacted financially. 44% of business owners have lost their income, all of their income. 44%, like almost half of the business owners in Canada. So I encourage you to click that link and give the City of Toronto some feedback. Awesome. Okay. It's been a pleasure doing these webinars, hosting these webinars, serving you guys. Over the past 2 weeks, I've been honored to serve more than 2,100 people on these webinars. And I'm humbled to say that. And I thank you for taking the time and being on the call with us, but I'm really doing my best. And I'm really doing what I think any leader should be doing these days, and that is serving their community. I'm doing my best by bringing in guest speakers, and hopefully you find some value in all of these webinars. Okay, awesome stuff. Let's bring in Alka. Alka, where are you? Put your hand up, please, so that I can find you. Okay, you're here. Okay, Alka Sharma. And by the way, folks, put your comments, answers, questions in the chat box, and make sure you address your comments to all panelists and attendees so that everyone else can see your comments. If you just send it to me, I'll be the only one who sees it. But if you address it to all panelists and attendees, everyone else can see it too, and you can engage in a conversation with other people as well. Okay, Alka Sharma, I'm promoting Alka to a panelist right now. Okay, Alka is here. Alka is the owner of Alka's Total Fitness, a fitness studio here in Toronto, in Thornhill. And Alka, welcome. Please unmute yourself. Please start your video. Alka will be sharing with us some tips and tricks about how to stay physically fit. Physically fit. So it's not only about being mentally sane, but you need to be physically fit as well. Okay, start video. There you go. There is
Hi, Shahab. Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. Likewise. Great to
take it away. Thank you.
Thanks for inviting me on the call. Thank you. So, hi. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Excellent. So, what I wanted to talk about are the 3 things that I want to touch base on, given the climate that we're in. And so, one of them is the ways that we can boost our immune system. 2 are the foods that we should be having to boost our immune system. And number 3, which is my favorite, is the exercises that we can do now that all the gyms and the studios are closed, what we can do in the comfort of our home. So number 1 is the ways that we can boost our immune system. So there are 4 points, and number 1 is garlic. Garlic helps to fight off the infections, and it's immune boosting properties is absolutely fantastic because it's heavy in the compounds that comes from the compound known as allicin. Number 2 is water. Now, throughout the day, we should be having sips of water, and this is, to keep our throat moist. And so it's fantastic. And so for my go-to that I love, first thing in the morning, I like to have warm water with lemon. It's good to cleanse the system for the food that you've had the night before. But also, given in this pleasant climate, is you can put in warm water, you can put lemon, honey, garlic. It's absolutely fantastic to keep your immune system rich and nourished. So you can fight off any kind of infection. And number 3 is chicken soup. So for most of us, when we've had the colds, we always make a batch of chicken soup. And soup is absolutely, it keeps you nourished, and it's really good if you mix in chicken with, say, vegetables. It's really going to keep you nourished and healthy, and your immune system, really balanced and healthy and nourished. And number 4 is drinking tea. Who likes green tea? Yes. So green tea, I would highly recommend that we have green tea rather than black tea, because green tea is known to be found rich in flavonoids. And flavonoids are the anti-aging properties that is good for our skin health, keeps our skin healthy, but is good in our general health as well. So green tea is absolutely fantastic. I would highly recommend to have green tea rather than black tea. And number 5 is it's soaking up the sun, but right now, it's not sunny. And so sun is good in vitamin D, so that once everything's said and done, the virus, the COVID-19 has subsided, I would recommend, having a healthy dose of the sun. Soak yourself up in the sun so you get that rich vitamin D coming in. I don't recommend sunbeds. It's just a healthy approach is so much better. And so these are the ways that we can boost our immune system given the present climate that we're in. Now, number 2 are the foods that I want to touch base on and what I would recommend that you have. So number 1 are the citrus fruits. Now, this whole week, Shahab, we've been juicing, and the citrus fruits that are and they're loaded in vitamin C. So we've been juicing on, these are found in oranges, grapefruits, limes, lemons. So we put all that in and make a fantastic juice that first thing in the morning, it really elevates your immune system, gives you a good healthy dose, so that it's going to last you throughout the day, and it just keeps your immune system and your digestive tract really rich and nourished. So citrus fruits I would highly recommend given the COVID-19 that we're in. And peppers, bell peppers, and in particular red, because red bell peppers is rich in beta carotene, and beta carotene is rich in vitamin A, C, and E. And beta carotene is also found in carrots. It's good for healthy skin and eyes. So that's bell peppers. And broccoli is good in vitamin A, C, and E. So that's something fantastic that we should incorporate broccoli in our foods. You can even chop it up when you have salads. You can just chop it up and have broccoli in that in your salad. And number 4 is ginger. Ginger is very good. My go-to has always been that, when I've sort of come down with the flu, I just take a ginger root And I just boil that in water, in hot water, and it's just really fantastic. You can even put honey in that if you wish. But ginger has amazing properties that just fights off the infections, and spinach too really helps to fight off the infections and has the ability to really boost our immune system. So these are the ways that, so these are some of the tips that I would recommend, that I prescribe to. So number one are the ways that we can boost our immune system. And number two are the foods that I would recommend that we implement given the climate that we're in right now. And now we come to my favorite part, which is exercise. So given that all the gyms and studios are closed, what can we do? And so what I would recommend is body weight exercises. And Natasha touched base on movement. And absolutely, we need to have that movement coming in throughout the day and keeping ourselves active, so that, not only, for good for our mental health, but physically movement. So whether, an elderly person, everyone, our age, we need to have movement coming in throughout the day. So I would highly recommend that. So the exercises that are my favorite, and what I used to recommend, like what I used to do when I used to travel, is, and body weight exercises is that, it's really fantastic because you could do it anywhere. And when I used to travel, my hotel room was my mini gym. So that if we didn't have the time to hit the hotel gym before we had our meetings, be creative. So that's what bodyweight exercise is. It's pretty much being creative and using what's around us so that we don't waste time, so that, we really have an impactful workout and just have a good start to the day. So the bodyweight exercise is absolutely fantastic. So for example, in the hotel room, what could be done? So on the couch, you could do tricep dips, you could do push-up, then you can even do that on the floor. But then you could do, say, like walking lunges with a bicep curl. If you had, dumbbells, so you could do walking lunges with a bicep curl, introduce that in. Then when I was traveling, I would take like a TRX sling and I would hang that on the door, and I would incorporate upper body as well as lower body workout. So it's, it's just being creative what you could do. So you can do walking lunges, you can do on the floor, you can do abs workout, you can do abs on the ball if you want to take a ball with you. So, you could do so much, and you could do side lunges. You can do side lunges with weight, incorporating, with the biceps. So it's just being creative. And that's what I love about bodyweight exercise. And especially now in this climate, this COVID-19, we're all stuck indoors. And so what are some of the things that we can just be creative and see, okay, this is what I can do. I've got a chair. What can I do? I can just do push-ups so that I'm working my upper body and I'm just feeling great. So I would highly recommend using what's around you in the home and just be creative and just have fun.
Awesome stuff. That's it, right? Use what you've got. So you can't go to the gym. Use what you've got. So basically, lots of great stuff about boosting your immune system, nutrition, and exercise routines. I tried to summarize what you said and put it in the chat box. So lots of great comments here. So Vince is saying, what about kale? Do you have any idea about kale? Would that be helpful?
Kale is helpful too, yeah. Kale is very good. It's very rich in the antioxidant properties, yeah. So the antioxidant properties, I don't think I mentioned, so that it's good for our general health, but also antioxidants is good. So we can find this in berries, in blueberries, blackberries, kale too, kale, spinach, absolutely fantastic choices.
Absolutely. And as somebody who trained as a medical doctor 21 years ago, I would say that antioxidants fight cancers. So take as much antioxidants as you can. So for anybody saying yoga, you can try yoga at home. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Yoga is absolutely fantastic. So if we can hit the gym, what can we do at home? So absolutely, yoga is great. Yoga is good, as Natasha mentioned. It's good for our mental health. It's good to give us the clarity that we want, given the present climate we're in. And stretches is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, yoga and
Wonderful.
stretches.
Frederick is saying an alternative to green tea is rooibos tea from South Africa, which is so rich in antioxidants as well.
It is, yes, absolutely.
That's great. And
That
one
is
last.
my favorite too. Yes.
Go ahead.
No, that's my favorite too. Rooibos from South Africa is good. I've had a sample at David's Tea and it's really good. Absolutely.
That's wonderful. One last one, very briefly, 30 seconds. So Katie is asking, if we are vegan, which kind of protein do you recommend? Any ideas?
Well, vegan, you can find in anything. I mean, lentils, soy tofu, mushrooms is very good. Shiitake mushrooms. All these are very good alternatives that you can, soy is absolutely very good, very rich. Tofu, if you like tofu, mushrooms.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Alka, for being on the call,
welcome.
sharing your experience and expertise. So how can people reach you? And are you offering any online sessions, online routines nowadays that the gyms are closed? How can people reach you and benefit from your expertise?
Absolutely. So I'm happy that they can email me, alka@alkastotalfitness.com. You can reach me on Instagram at Alka's Total Fitness Studio. And so we're going to be doing an online Zumba. For those of you who love Zumba, who want to see the benefits that Zumba have, you love dance, we've got that virtual, that's going to be coming up starting in April the 12th. So that is something that we're going to be having.
Awesome. Could you put your email address and the Instagram handle in the chat box, please?
Yes, I will.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for being on the call. Take care.
Thank you, Shahab.
If you don't mind, I'll put you back on the viewer mode. Awesome stuff. Thanks, Alka. Lots of great stuff. I learned so much about nutrition, and I'm going to try that rooibos tea as well. Thanks, Frederick, for bringing that up. Okay, let's do a little bit of networking. Let's break the pattern, do a little bit of networking. So what I would like everyone to do right now, there are more than 60 people registered for the call. So please write 2 sentences in the comments in the chat box. Say who you are, what you do, what's your LinkedIn handle. Who you are, what you do, what's your LinkedIn handle. And address it to all panelists and attendees, not just to me, so that everyone else can see it. Who are you? What do you do? What's your LinkedIn handle? So I'm going to do it myself first. So I'm going to put in the chat box just 1 sentence, very easy. So Shahab Anari, I'm a personal branding expert, and this is my LinkedIn handle. There you go. So let's take like a couple of minutes. Everybody put in the chat box, who are you? What do you do? What's your LinkedIn handle? So that we can connect with each other. Yes, we can't see each other face to face in a webinar because we want to keep it structured and we want to bring in speakers and we want to keep the flow going, but we definitely can network. And one of the best ways is to put your LinkedIn handle in the chat box and connect with other people and follow up with the conversation, engage with the conversation after this webinar. I've personally added tens of people to my LinkedIn network through these webinars just by asking them to put in their LinkedIn handle in the chat box and clicking the links. Awesome stuff. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes who you are, what do you do, what's your LinkedIn handle. Just put it in one sentence, post it as a comment. Awesome stuff. Alka, Fariba, Nagme. Yes, sure. Nagme is asking, can I put my Instagram instead of LinkedIn? Absolutely. Just put whatever social media channel you're most active on. So it could be Instagram. Catherine, personal menswear stylist. Please put your LinkedIn handle as well. Fariba, MD, weight management. Fariba, I didn't know you're an MD. Oh, we're kindreds. Dr. Fariba, there you go. Maggie, I help high achievers and entrepreneurs overcome anxiety, depression, and addictions, all without medications. Awesome stuff. Okay. Just let's take a couple of minutes here. Fantastic. Just click on the links, get connected to other people. If you don't have LinkedIn, put another social media channel that you're active on. Natasha has shared her LinkedIn handle and her IG. And Natasha, please put in your email address once again so that if people want to reach you, they can. Sivam is saying, my name is Sivam and I'm no medical insurance. I think I'm a medical insurance specialist. I hope I'm reading it right. Just put in the link, folks. Put in the link, the actual link that people can click. For example, if you're putting in your Instagram handle, go to Instagram, copy the link and paste it here, right? So that we can all connect. Put it in one sentence so that we can keep it clean and tidy. Just in one sentence. Who are you? What do you do? What's your social media handle? Preferably LinkedIn. Awesome stuff. Great job. Keep it coming. Nadia, life and a strategic coach. I help people gain clarity, confidence, and direction in their life. Ahmad, I'm a leadership and communication coach and educator. Reza, I'm the owner of Massage Experts in Vaughan. Maggie is asking about saving this chat. No, that's not possible. I'm going to send the speaker's contact information in the email that will go out after this webinar with the recorded webinar. I'll send you an email with a link to the recorded webinar and information of the speakers. But as for the other attendees, if you want to contact them and network with them, just click on the link right now and add them to your network. Awesome stuff. Okay, one more minute before we go to our third speaker. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to be, okay. Let me introduce to you guys our next speaker, Dr. Kusha. Dr. Kusha, please put your hand up so that I can find you. Dr. Kusha. Okay. Okay, there you go. Our next speaker, guest expert, is Dr. Kusha. Dr. Kusha is the principal dentist at My City Dental in Vaughan. I would say the most successful dental practice in Vaughan. And I've invited Dr. Kusha to share his wisdom about how people can use the services of dentists these days. Now that the most dental practices are closed, how can people find their dentist, reach their dentist, and use dental services in these uncertain times. So, Dr. Kusha, welcome. Thanks for being on the call with us.
Thank you very much, Shahab, to inviting me to this webinar, and I hope everybody's healthy and safe.
Awesome. So Dr. Kusha is a very experienced dentist, internationally trained. One of his certification is from Harvard, which is amazing. A very good friend, experienced dentist. Take it away. You have a few minutes to share your expertise. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. The most things that's happening during this crisis is some health questions. And I just want to start with general term that when there is a crisis, everybody wants to stay healthy. And one of the things that you can stay healthy is to have a good oral health. And this question happening, why? Because first of all, good oral health causing good and healthy immune system. The second thing is, okay, if something happened to you, dental offices are not open now. Most of them are not open and you can't reach your regular dentist. And you have very sometimes pain or problems that usually you can go to your dentist and solve it right away, but now it's not easy. Then we have to stay healthy. Then my recommendation is back to basic: good brushing, good flossing, and maintain good oral health. The other things that it's happening here is, okay, I'll try to use my best and stay healthy. What happened if some emergency happening to me? I have a huge pain or a broken tooth or something. Let me clarify the emergencies that college permit dentists to work. Most of dental offices are closed, but there are a couple of dental offices that are open. You can find them online through the dental college website that's showing which dental emergencies are open in your area. And then these are the emergencies. Huge pain that cannot be subsided by over-the-counter painkiller. Dental trauma or facial trauma, and abscess and big swelling, and also bleeding that's not stopping. These are in general the emergencies that dentists are allowed to treat the patient. We have some calls that patients say, oh, I have cavities, I just worry about my cavities. Now is not the time to fixing your cavities, because first of all, the personal protection stuff are limited. All hospitals or medical field are engaging to fight with COVID-19, and we should not use this protection material for treating non-emergency patients. The second things are, when you go to the closed area, doesn't matter, is grocery shops or dental clinic or medical office, is a closed space, and the risk of spreading the virus is higher in the closed area. Then we don't recommend people to just checking to the dental offices, to just asking questions, showing their teeth are nice. Do I need a braces, or do I need this or that? First of all, if you have a concern, if you have a question, the most important thing is try to find your dentist. Most of dental offices offering hotline or teledentistry. That means you can get in touch with your dentist, having your question through the phone or through the video. And the second things are the dental emergencies that they are open. Then you can call them, you can ask your questions. And if you fit on the emergency categories and you need to see a dentist, then you can first check on with your family dentist, seeing like if they are open, if they are working, if they are offering some days on emergencies. And if not, going to the college website and finding out what dental offices are open in your area. And then the other things which is related to the dental health, which I just want to share with you, is that because this virus is an airborne virus, we recommend to just use some mouthwashes that helping reducing the virus. Actually, is not the main line of protection, but there are certain mouthwashes that in dental offices we use for reducing the viruses. And these two, like they are over-the-counter mouthwashes. One of them is Colgate Proxil, and the other one is Listerine Whitening. These two mouthwash are reducing the virus. And it means that in case you want to just using some mouthwash that can help, these are like two mouthwash. I did share this on my LinkedIn. I'm just gonna give it as a share, and then you can see what they look like. And at the end, I'm just gonna give my LinkedIn handle to just check that there too. And these are the main things that is important for dental offices. And then if you just want to summarize the situation, is that just stay healthy, try to maintain good oral health. Second, try to just if your problem are not huge, try to just use a painkiller, normal painkiller. Try to manage it, keep your mouth clean, and these are most of the time solve the problems. If you got a problem, try to find your dentist through teledentistry or their hotline from their office, or not, check the college website. And the fourth thing is, don't go to your dental offices now to just asking a question or checking in about promotions, cleaning, and those stuff. Let me bring up this because some patient has a cleaning appointment and they think, oh, okay, my third month or fourth month, fifth month of cleaning are passed, I have to go do cleaning. In the current situation, no, there's no cleaning can be done, and we don't recommend, because the aerosol that's happening and spreading in the area is not good for your health and for dentists and the people that are working there. Let me bring up this one. I think this is also interesting point that I'm just going to put these also in my LinkedIn today, is mask. Because many people are coming to our office saying, okay, can I borrow mask? Can I use mask? Can I use N95 or whatever? There are three type of mask, that type 1, type 2, type 3, and N95 aerosol in general in the mask categories. Type 1 is just limiting the passing of the particle for not much. The level 2 is the one that we usually use in the dental offices, that stop passing small particles, and it can stop also the coronavirus as well. And the level 3 is the one which is limited more, and using for particular high aerosol production. And N95 is the one that is very protective. Now, in the current situation, it's not recommended except the medical fit, which with close contact with the patient, using N95, because I'm seeing people using N95 on the street. Is not recommended. It cannot be just helping you. And we recommend, if you have a like N95, just donate it to your close by health unit or hospitals, because now they are the one that need it most. And you can use a normal mask or level 1 or level 2 or level 3. That's so much like okay for normal usage. I think that's almost it. And
Dr. Kushal, thank you so much. Very informative. Especially, I didn't know that about the masks. I thought just N95 is the one that works for coronavirus, but you're saying level 2, even level 2 is protective. Obviously, level 3 and N95 are more protective, but we don't necessarily have to wear N95 if we're going about our normal lives and walking around the city, right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so one question. So lots of great stuff. Thank you so much. Amit is asking, hi, Dr. Kusha, is there any specific center for doing emergency dental care for COVID-19 positive patients in GTA?
Okay. Right now, the college recommend don't go to the hospital for dental emergencies. Then, if you're COVID-19 positive, you can call one of them dental emergencies on the list, and you can ask them, because you know, by the protocol, these dental offices had to do triage through the phone, and so far there are just limited offices that could see those patients. My recommendation is they can check on the college office, college website, dental college website, to check what are the center for that, or I can check, and if they just message me, I can check and let them know where the location that are open for.
Thank you so much. Lots of great stuff. We learned a lot from you.
Yeah, at the end, what I can do, our office has a dental emergencies hotline, which I'm just gonna put it here. And then if anybody had any question, they can, this line is a 24/7 text only hotline that you can text whatever question regarding to your dental problems to this one. We try to get back to you as soon as possible. And then if you need to be visited by me or one of my colleagues, we're going to contact you, and probably we can talk over the phone, or we can do like a video chat about your concern.
Wow, that's amazing. That's wonderful. It's great. So please put that hotline in the chat box so that everyone can know, and I'll make sure I'll include it in the email that goes out. Thank you so much, Dr. Kusha. It's been very informative. It was great to have you on the call. And folks, please make sure you connect with Dr. Kusha on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions regarding dentistry, make sure you reach out to him. Thanks, Dr. Kusha. So the hotline is in the chat box right now. I'm going to write it down here, 416-2211-222. Straightforward. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Dr. Kusha.
No problem. Take care.
Take care. Okay, great stuff. Amazing stuff. So I see Fariba, you have your hand up. You want me to unmute yourself? Please put in the chat box. Do you have a comment to make? I can unmute yourself. I can unmute you. Fariba, do you want to share something? Do you want me to unmute you? Please put in the chat box, send it to me. Yes or no? I can allow you to talk. I have the control. I'm the host. So if there's anything you want to share, please let me know. Okay, awesome. So Fariba, I'll let you talk for 1 minute for the sake of time. 1 minute. Go ahead, Fariba. Unmute yourself.
Okay, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thanks for your very wonderful presentation with your colleagues. I heard from the WHO last day that coronavirus isn't an aerosol, so airborne. It is not airborne. It can contaminate only from the person to person or from the staff, not from the air.
Mhm.
Dr. Kusha told that it is because it is an airborne virus. I wanted to recommend it only that.
Okay.
And when the people want to use the painkiller, please don't use that based on the ibuprofen.
Mhm.
It will affect to the symptoms and get that worse.
Okay, that's
Thank you.
that's great observation and great comments. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'll put you back in the viewer mode. So what I know is that obviously COVID-19 is transmitted through droplets. So it's not transmitted through the air. It's transmitted through droplets that drop on the surfaces, and then we touch those surfaces, and then we touch our eyes, our nose, and our mouth, our face, and it's transmitted that way. You're absolutely right, at least as far as I know. Amazing stuff. Okay. So before I introduce you to our last but not least speaker, who will talk about like amazing insights and again, emotional resilience from the perspective of a certified coach, before I introduce our last but not least speaker, I'd like to let you know that we have a Facebook group. The link is in the chat box. If you want to network, if you want to get to know other people more, like-minded people, build deeper relationships, especially if you're business owners, entrepreneurs, and you want to build those relationships so that people can know, like, and trust you and pass you referrals. Now that we can't actually see each other, face to face, we're in physical isolation. We can jump on the Facebook group and connect with each other and continue the conversation there. So networking is not just about clicking on somebody's LinkedIn handle and connecting with them, but it's about building those relationships. So request to join the Facebook group. You need to be approved, but obviously most of you will be approved. If you agree to the rules that we have in the Facebook group, you will be approved. So click on the link, make sure you join us. It's for free, and it's just about giving value to you guys so that you can build your network, expand your network, help other people, and get help from other people as well. Also, in that Facebook group, one of our latest posts is an amazing compilation of all the financial aid that the Canadian government is offering to Canadians, individuals, and business owners. A comprehensive compilation. I posted it, I think it was today or yesterday. It's a comprehensive compilation of, as individuals or as business owners, what are you entitled to get? Entitled is not the right word. What financial aid is available to you? So make sure you join the group and you read that post and connect with other people as well. Awesome stuff. Okay, let's go to Nadia. Nadia, where are you? Please put your hand up so I can find you. Nadia is here. Nadia is here. Going once, going twice, going thrice. Okay, amazing. Nadia is here. Please unmute yourself. Start your video. Nadia is a good friend, certified professional coach, and she will be talking about emotional and mental resilience from the perspective of a certified coach. And hopefully the insights and the experience that she will be sharing with all of us will be helpful to you guys as well. And Nadia.
Hi there.
Hey there, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just having some problems with my video.
Okay.
So I've had this happen before.
Not a problem. Let me change some setting here. Maybe it can help you. Just
Sure.
wait a second.
The only way that I know how to do this is to log back out. But if everyone's okay with just seeing my picture.
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead. For the
Yeah.
sake of time, go ahead.
Yes.
No problem.
So I apologize for that. Good morning, everyone. First, I want to thank Shahab and North Star Success for inviting me to chime in on this conversation. And all the speakers have been fantastic. I've really gained a lot of perspective on so many things today. The things that have unfolded during these unprecedented times have really raised many physical and mental challenges, you know, not only for our business, but for our lives at home. Our habits and routines kind of have been disrupted, but also there's so much uncertainty of times ahead, you know, and it has really changed the way that we're perceiving life, the way that we're taking it in. So my name is Nadia Tenorio, and I'm a certified life coach and strategy coach. And I generally help people gain confidence and clarity in some directions in their lives so that they can achieve their goals. Lately, I have been implementing strategic planning into the lives of my clients in order to create sanity, basically, during these times of unprecedented times. So why is this important? Because we tend to manifest what we focus on, what we focus our energy on. You know, if we constantly are focusing on negative aspects of things, which, you know, the circumstances are that we are in a crisis, there's a lot of negativity. That doesn't necessarily mean that we have to live in that all around. And I think Natasha made an excellent point in this, being resilient and being resilient for ourselves and for our community. So, you know, if you think about it, like, I mean, I don't know how many of you understood the whole toilet paper rush, going to the store and getting all this toilet paper. And it just seemed like these people were acting out of scarcity and out of fear and out of this constant, that, you know, there would be nothing left and the world would kind of end. But what I invite you, and what I've been inviting my clients to do, is to choose to come from a place of abundance. I bet many of you have been reached out to people to see how they're doing. A lot of us have been in touch more now with our families than ever before. You know, so many of us are nobody gets the toilet paper thing. Thank you. So many people have reached out to me. Hey, Nadia, how are you doing? How's your business going? There's always someone that is out there helping. And that's what I've found in these trying times, is that focusing on the energy in what we want to manifest has really impacted the way that we think beyond ourselves and think in more in terms of a community. So what I wanted to focus on 3 key factors that have kind of helped me and my clients kind of recognize the challenges of COVID-19 and the impact, and really kind of helped us center, if you will, center our mind, our focus, so that we are keeping sanity. So the first thing I would like to share with you is accepting the circumstances, is in recognizing the circumstances is very important. So almost holding that space, you know, how are you feeling? How are you reacting to things? Are you stressed? Are you nervous? Are you feeling anxious? It is perfectly okay to feel these things. It is perfectly reasonable for you to feel these things. Now, allowing those feelings and those circumstances to control us, that's a whole other topic, right? So holding the space for the feeling is important, because we found, and working with clients, is the more that we resist the feelings, the more that the feelings persist. And it becomes an inner struggle. It becomes more tiresome to just be able to rainbow and sunshine something when it's really, you haven't really given it time to sit there. I hope that makes sense. So how do we reframe this, right? So I have a client who is a stay-at-home mom, and she's stressed out about watching the news all the time. And she's working out and watching the news. She's feeding her children, watching the news. She's doing everyday's activities and watching the news. So we really had to ask, how is watching the news 24/7 serving you? Where is the focus right now? And where do you want the focus to be? Right? So it was really kind of uncovering that pain of her and figuring out, wait a minute, like my children are looking at me, right? I'm modeling for them this panicky, almost a scatterbrained person. They're here. I actually have them here. I can do a workout and incorporate them. I can have lunch with them every single day. It does not have to be stressful. But we only were able to do that when we allowed ourselves to be in a situation, be like, yes, I'm really falling apart. I need some help. Only then were we able to move past it. So one of the things that we did was we wrote down, because she's a writer. So we wrote down what this meant for her, how she was feeling. We talked about, why she believed that these feelings were happening and why they were evolving. Then we decided, okay, well, what do you want to do next? Take a breath, get up and dance. She decided she wanted to do a dance party. So when she felt anxious and she had the moment to write her emotions down, she then interrupted her programming by getting up, putting on some music, Bruno Mars, whatever, and then just really involving her children and celebrating the joy of being with them and having that fun with them. The second point that I wanted to stress here is staying connected to our loving and supportive tribe, and Shahab, you're doing such an amazing job of demonstrating this. This is exactly what we need, to continuously be connected, to hear other people's opinions, to hear other people's advice, to see what's working for other individuals, what's not working for us, what can we be doing better, and how can we also help other people. When we're working beyond ourselves, and Natasha pointed this out, when we're working beyond ourselves, there's a purpose, right? We almost feel like there's more purpose than just us being in our heads and being in our house. So lending the support, asking for tips. What can we do better? I happen to have 2 children at home, ages 9 and 12, and they're wonderful, and trying to homeschool them. I found this very hard at the very beginning, because I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to keep up with their school, and how am I going to keep up with my work? I needed to find a balance that worked for me, right? Some of the things that we incorporated, it was basically, I gave up trying to control what the situation was going to be like. And I asked my children, what do you guys want to learn? What do you guys want to do? One of them is a very skilled artist, so she's teaching us art. That's one of the things that we're doing, which is great. When I have time and I don't have clients, I sit with them. When I don't, then she's leading. So I'm teaching her how to be a leader. I'm teaching her how to be a teacher. I'm teaching her how to take care of her younger sibling. The youngest one is a very physical kid, right? So she's doing yoga, and she's teaching us yoga, right? She's so funny. She's like, after the end of the class, she goes, and if you really liked my class, then we could do this again in 2 hours. I was like, no, that's way too soon. But she enjoyed it, and she felt like she was being useful. The other thing is incorporating them in making lunches, making their food, helping around the house. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. And this is our time and opportunity to make memories with our children, with our families. I have been connecting with my grandparents, my aunt who I haven't talked to in a while, just to make sure that they know, hey, I'm here, right? So there's been a lot of community support, and it's important that we stay connected. The other thing, the third thing and final thing that I wanted to touch on is, what lessons are we learning right now that we can bring forth in the future? You know, one of the things that I'm learning is that humanity is actually quite wonderful. We do lend a hand to each other when we need it. We live in a condo, and it's a very tight-knit community, and we have a Facebook page for the condominium, and there's people that have offered, hey, if you don't have a car, if you can't leave the house, this is my number, please reach out to me. You know, it's like, wow. And that just blew my mind. And I'm going, okay. So talking to clients, it's like, so where do you want to focus on, so that when this is done, you can just hit the ground running? And it's been a resounding, I want to focus on relationship building. You know, and it's like, wow, this is fantastic. Because when you think about it, the first thing as human beings that we do is we connect with people. And we've almost been forced to do that, to teach our children who were stuck to a screen and a phone to put that down and connect. We're reaching out to other people. We're figuring out, how can we be of service here? So there are very important lessons that the world is teaching us right now that we are going to hopefully bring into the future. One of the great things that I have learned with my own personal life has been that my kids are wonderful teachers, and teaching goes both ways. I don't have to stress out about formulating an amazing plan about homeschooling. Really, if I just let them, they will thrive, and they will teach me. I'm learning art. I'm learning yoga. And they're learning what their passions are, which is a double amazing thing for me. So my recommendation for everyone out there is focus on small habitual steps that can help you decrease stress for you and for yours. And it looks differently for everybody. Like I said, writing helps someone, crafts would help another person, connecting, a virtual call. I have a virtual coffee call with my girlfriend, my best friend, who's been my best friend since grade 10, every Wednesday night. And we just check in, and all we do is gossip. But it doesn't matter. It fills our well. That's all that really matters. The second thing is ask for assistance. You know, rely on your tribe. Make sure you pick them for a reason, right? This is the time to test them, and include your children in there. And last, you know, now that you have this time, focus that energy on what you really want to create, so that when things get back to normal, you hit that ground running, and poof, we're going to see everybody succeed. Because this is just a moment in time. That's all this is. That's it for me.
Lots of great wisdom, and I can't agree more, Nadia. You know, this will eventually be over.
Yes.
But 3 weeks, like Trump says, we'll be holding hands and dancing kumbaya on Easter. Whether it's 3 months, whether it's a year, 18 months, you know, it will eventually be over. I know it's crazy when I sometimes think about the fact that it may last for 18 months before the vaccine comes out. Not that we're stuck at home for 18 months, but the whole thing and the craziness may last up to 18 months, but it will eventually be over. And the key question, just like you shared very wisely, is what seeds are you planting right now? What are you focusing on right now? So that at the end of this 3 weeks, 3 months, 18-month period, you can hit the ground running, and you know you have built a totally new life that is of service to you, your family, and to others around you. So very well said. Thank you so much. So Nadia, we're almost at the end of the call. How can people reach you? And folks, if you have any questions or comments, please put it in the chat box. How can people reach you? Are you offering any free resources, free stuff to the audience today?
Yes. So thank you very much for reminding me. I will put my email on the chat. I'm better at emails than phone calls. If you want to just get connected that way, I will offer what I've been offering previous clients or clients that are, you know, for some reason have kind of taken a pause because of the situation, which is a 45-minute coaching session. Now, it is a two-parter. I will speak to you for half an hour first to kind of get a background, and then we will set up a 45-minute free coaching session. I believe that right now is the time when most people need to connect and need help reframing things. So I love connecting. I love hearing new stories. So please do so. I will share my my email information down below, and I'm happy to connect with anyone if you have any questions. And also, if you have any stories about how you're succeeding and you're kicking, you know, COVID-19's butt, then please share them with me.
I love the analogy. Awesome stuff. Thank you so much. Please put your email before people jump off. Put your email in the chat box. Thank you so much for being on the call with us. Lots of great stuff. And take care of yourself and your family.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. That's it for today. How was it today? How were the speakers? Did you enjoy it? Did you feel a boost of positive energy, some insights, some new stuff? Just put it in the chat box. Show me some energy. Show me some love. Lots of great comments coming in. So Nadia put her email address, nadia@ntcoachingsolutions.com. Vince says, laugh a lot with friends. Great stuff. Thank you so much. Awesome. It was a pleasure and honor to serve you as always. And before we jump off, I'd like to thank one of our sponsors for these series of webinars, Wendy Saw from TELUS. And they're offering big savings that changes every day. At some point, they were offering like 10 gigabytes of data at a ridiculously low price. I don't know if that offer still is available, or maybe they have changed the offer. But if you're thinking about taking advantage of these wonderful offers that TELUS is proposing to us, so make sure you reach out to Wendy, wendy.saw@telus.com, and her number is 416-712-4594. Thank you for sponsoring us, for supporting us. Wendy Saw from TELUS Business. Just take a photo, folks, of the screen, or write down wendy.saw@telus.com. And if you would like to be a sponsor or speaker on our upcoming webinars, please reach out to me at shahab@northstarsuccess.com. Again, thank you so much for being on the call. Stay safe, take care, enjoy the rest of your day. And by the way, our next webinar is next Sunday, April 5th, and it's about a very important topic: how to run a virtual business. How to run a virtual business. The link is in the chat box. It's a very timely, relevant topic, and I have two amazing speakers, professional speakers. One of them is a Hall of Fame speaker in Canada that usually charges tens of thousands of dollars to do a 1-hour presentation, but she will be there for you guys, and she will share her wisdom about how to run a virtual business for free. So make sure you click on the link, sign up for free, April 5th, next Sunday at 10 a.m. Take care, stay safe, bye for now.